Hi, my name is Ellen, and this is my second note to self for the From class that we're doing at the Miami Valley School. And I wanted to take this video to talk a little bit about From's section on erotic love. And this to me is like one of the best sections of From that I've ever read. And the way he talks about falling in love as like a sudden collapse in barriers, it is like so right on. You see people do when they get into a new relationship. Everything's new. It's exciting. They don't know anything about this person, so they enjoy getting to get closer and closer and closer. But then what happens is then, he says, until there's no more sudden closeness to be achieved, the loved person becomes as well known as oneself, or perhaps I should say as little known. And it's just like they get so familiar that they end up getting bored because there's not that sudden high of like the immediate satisfaction of getting to know something else about someone. And then, of course, he goes on to say that they seek it in like a new person to have that intimate experience with this stranger again. So they again, the experience of falling in love is exhilarating and intense. And again, it slowly becomes less and less intense and ends in the wish for new conquest and new love, always with the illusion that a new love will be different from the earlier ones. These illusions are greatly helped by the deceptive character of sexual desire. So it's kind of like, I think the whole thing about like wanting a new partner stems from the idea that love is this magical thing, and if you wait for the right person, then it'll work. But as From points out, it's not like that. It's like work, it's care, responsibility, respect, all of those things. So, but it's almost like, oh, I'm not with the right one is a cop-out to not do the necessary work to make it work with the person you're with, because you always think, well, maybe there's someone better out there for me, when in all reality, this person you're with could be someone who you work well with. You just haven't put in the work because you're always thinking about what else is out there. And I mean, you see people do this all the time, where they're with some girl or guy, and then it's great, they're excited, and all of a sudden the barriers are collapsed, there's nothing new going on. You know, a couple months later they break up, and you're like, oh, I could have seen that coming from the beginning. And then, but you understand their reasons, but then 2 weeks later they're with another person, and it's like, is this going to be any different from the other situation, except that it's just, you know, some other different person this time. But what I think From points out that is so like true and just exact is how he says, if there were more depth in the experience of the other person, if one could experience the infiniteness of his personality, the other person would never be so familiar, and the miracle of overcoming the barriers might occur every day anew. Okay, that's like incredible. If you could find a way to do that, then you really could like grow in love together, and you would be discovering this person new every single day, and they would be growing and you would be growing. And I think that's just like, I keep saying like the holy grail of love, but I think that's really what you want. If you can, I think that's what we're aiming for. And I think we've established that like one of the main ideas of this course that, you know, our teacher said right at the beginning was like, what if you could fall in love with the entire universe, even you and your rock hard ego? Like, what if you could love everything? And I think that sentence right there is like such a key part in doing that, is if you can like love, like you can love someone who's growing because they're changing, so you get to learn about those changes every single day. I think that's a really big part of symbiotic love, which I think is interesting. And what kind of goes along with that is like, I don't know, like a key building block to get to that point is the idea that like what From says on like the next page, to love somebody is not just a strong feeling, it is a decision, it is a judgment, and it is a promise. So it's the same idea. It's not you're waiting for some magical force to give you like a knight in shining armor or something. It's like a decision. It's something you decide to put in the work to make it work with this person. Not to say that if you decide to love anyone you can, but once you're in a relationship, you're making a commitment to say that I'm going to make this work. It's not going to be some magical thing that just does work. So that's basically what I've been thinking a lot about recently. And I don't know, I just think it's pretty special in this class that we get to study what a good relationship is like, that we get to study how to love and the art of loving, hence the title of the book. And I think that's just kind of amazing. So there's obviously tons and tons of pitfalls, and they say watch out for this and this and this and this and this, and those are all true. But I kind of love getting to focus on like what you want, like almost having like making like a little goal for myself, that if you put in the work and you do these different things and you do this, then you can have this like crazy, amazing, productive, symbiotic love where you like love in that person all of mankind. So I don't know, I keep thinking about that, and I guess my note to self for the future is just always keep that in mind and realize that it does take work and it's not something magical. So thanks for listening.